Greetings everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Challenges Guide. Now for those of you who are new to this series, or need a bit of a refresher, the Weekly Challenges are a set of 5 events that go live Thursday night, Friday morning depending on your region. These usually consist of 4 events that can already be found and require unlocking depending on your progress, while the 5th is a special event that usually takes place as a special race, time trial, mission trial, whichever comes up. So, let us look at what this week has in store for us. So we kick things off with the Sunday Cup. This is a 2-lap race at Tokyo Expressway Central Clockwise, and requires a road car. Simple as that. You got your suggested performance points up there. You pretty much can use anything. It's a very easy race. So I'm just going to use the Renault capture here that I already have, unmodified, stock. Simple as that. And just as quickly, let's go and take a lap around here and see the best way to get around. So, this is mostly going to require a lot of on-throttle stuff there. Not too many hard braking places there, there's a few. But for the most part, lifting and going through the course what you'll be doing. We start here with turn 1, where you lift off and get right back on the ride there through the middle. Here, likewise, you can also stay on the throttle all the way through here, turn deep into the corners there, through 2, 3, and 4 there. That's pretty much full throttle through this entire exchange there. So you're going to be working up a lot of speed, a lot of momentum, and a lot of easy passes, honestly, depending on the car you use. And here, another lift on the throttle right about there, and get back on through right there. And we'll be heading up to 6 pretty soon there, which is the one that leads into the tunnel. And here, at least for me, I found it, you can also lift off the throttle, but you'll have to do it about right here. And then turn in, gently get back on the throttle. We'll deuce a little bit of others here there. Now this is the first hard braking into 3rd, but not too hard, just a downshift. And continue to accelerate through here, 6, 7, and then 8 and 9 here. Keep on the power there. Again, like I said, it's mostly full throttle there, not a lot of hard braking. And this is the second part where you actually do need some braking. Again, 3rd gear. That is the lowest I've found that you'll be going down while doing laps around here. And then this final quarter, it actually benefits you to stay in 3rd, off the power, and then back on right about there, through the middle. And that's it really. A mostly full throttle blast with maybe only 2 spots to brake. And that's a lap around Tokyo Expressway Central reverse. So let's get to the race itself. So here, the best spots for overtakes tend to be turns 1 through 4 and 8 through 11, carrying a lot of momentum. Take advantage of that like you see there on screen. Be aware though, the AI in turns 3 and 4, 6 and 7 as well as 13. It's all in spots where the grip is going to get very tricky with how you carry momentum and how you carry them into the corner there, along with the weight distribution. So be careful with that as you're doing so. Next, the Nissan GTR Cup. This is a 5-lap race around Dragon Trail Gardens. And of course, 700 performance points or less, and in any model GTR, including the old ones from the Power Pack. So, that's as simple as that, which means for me, I am bringing back out my built GTR T-Spec here, and again, set up for any of you, if you're using the same car. Hopefully it works for you like it does for me. So, let's do a lap around here. And what I like to do internally, this is something I've done since GT Sport. I like to go down the gear, in this case 4th, and just hug that inside line and then get on the throttle here. And I'll say curbing will pretty much catch you every time. And then brake right that board down to 2nd. And I try to go over the curbs there, but in a very specific way. This will stop the car from completely bouncing over out of that corner. And now down the section here, all the way. And we're going to come right up here, and you're going to brake right about where that yellow part of the gate comes up there. I usually do anyway. Turn in on the curb, accelerate right on out, and you should be really proud of these. And through here, so you start downshifting a bit, kind of missed that curve there. But every other part, hit it just right in third gear. Likewise for this left-hander here, this big curve. You don't want to take too much of this, just enough, otherwise your car will start getting skittish. Third gear, and I kind of tend to aim the car a little bit middle, too close to the curve, so that way I get smoother acceleration on out. And you can take all this curve here since it's kind of straight. It's not going to affect you too much there. And then right here, I start braking right about the 150 board, just to ensure that I can get some stopping power on there. Get a little bit of throttle and accelerate right here, just as the curve is in front. And of course with that, and all the power I have in the world, this darn thing, that is a lap around Dragon Trail Gardens reverse. So, let's get to the race itself. So for this, the best spots I found for overtaking are turns 1, 4, 6 through 8, as well as 11 and 12. Pretty good braking spots to take advantage. Beware the eye in turns 2 and 3, 5, as well as 9 and 10. A lot of awkward corners there that get narrow very fast, and the AI get very awkward in how they handle those corners, so if you're going for a clean race bonus like I tend to do, be mindful of that. Next, the Schwarzwald League. This is a 4-lap race at Circuit Gilles-Villenueve. You'll need a car from Germany, 700 performance points or less. You can see some of the examples there. You can even lazy with a Porsche 911 if you want. I'm going to use something I haven't used in a while, and that's this Mercedes AMG GTR GT4 build that I've done. Again, setup if you're using the same thing. Hopefully it helps you like it's helped me. And so now let's get to a lap and show you the optimal lines around here. So as we get through these curves here, which are always going to be a bit tricky, we start this lap here, and of course as usual, always start all the way to the left here so I can carry a lot of speed this sector. Start braking just as that climb to the right comes up, over that little curbing there. Again, I tend to accelerate right about here. Is the straightest way to get the power down without the back kicking out. Down to second gear here. I take a lot of this curbing right here to accelerate very smoothly so the car won't spin. Through here, gentle lift and back on the power. That usually tends to help, I find. And then down to second gear. And I use a lot of this curve. This is something I've done since NASCAR 09. It's always helped me out. So anyway, power on out next to that wall there. And down here for a very long time there. And I like to start braking right after that 150 mark there, just to make sure. And I take that much curve there. And thankfully this car doesn't seem as reactive in hitting those curves there, but still want to be careful. Now we come to the final corner. I like to brake just as that changes. Brake really hard and stop right on the dime in that corner. Still got it. So up through the gears we go. Down the straightaway here, and of course as usual I like to always set up for the corners here, so I go all the way to the left right here on the track. And what I usually like to do is just after this big board comes up, a little piece of gantry there to brake just for 100 mark, down to about third, hit those curves just right, power right on out into the wall of champions. And if you've done everything right, that should be of course a good lap around Circuit Gilles-Villenueve. So now, on to the race itself. So for this one, best spots for overtaking I found are turns 2, 3, 5, and 10. Some good braking spots there to take the AI there, make some good momentum as well. Also if you got a good car. Beware the AI though in 3 and 4 as well as 5. Tends to get a little crowded there, and beware of that Audi. It tends to be the fastest one of the bunch I found, so be careful. Next, the Super Formula. It's a 15-lap race with 3 times fuel use and 5 times tire wear at Autopolis International Racing Course, and of course, any of the Super Formula cars, the SF23s, SF19s, Toyota, Honda, whichever you want to use. And I've already used the Toyota this week, so let's go with the Honda for this one. And pretty much I'm gonna go mediums here because this is what I usually start out with. Anyhow, let's go for a lap around here. Now yes, this is technically cheating because I'm just using this from the record breakers video, which you can find in the description, but I mean, hey, it's there, so why not? So anyway, go down to the quarter here, past the 100 mark, right down to second. I'm very interested in your downshifts. Anyhow, power right on out. So we have this one right here, go down to fourth. Usually I use third, I think I was really determined with this one. But usually third is what I would take here. So down to about second. You can use one if you want more traction. And then right on out of the corner here. And here I always stay in fourth gear and just get right to that curb and power right on out of there. This will actually help you get by with AI as well. So brake right into this one here. Second gear. Hold on to the inside and then just power right on out. And then here is where I get into my own knowledge a little bit insane. Fifth gear through this part, and then fourth gear without braking, and then just carrying that momentum through there. This is also how you can overtake AI if you're feeling that aggressive. So third, then second, powering right out of the corner here, and then here, third gear remaining, but still with some power. I'm sure fourth if you're brave enough, and then stay in third gear at this corner, and then accelerate right on out. So a lot of aggressive cornering I tend to do. And that's a lap around Autopolis. And now on to the race itself. So medium tires usually tend to be the optimal things I go with here. But there's a bit of a wrench to throw in here. Rain appears around lap 4 or 5. That's a guarantee every time you attempt this. I used to caution you wait it out until lap 8 or 9 before pitting, because by then the track will be drying up, the AI will pit again to get off their rain tires, and you get a nice advantage before you pit yourself. So that is the strategy I would recommend. And finally, the special race, the Renault Twingo 1 make. It's a 5-lap race and also drove the center reverse, and of course features the Renault Twingo, this absolute gem of a car here. So without further ado, let's choose this car, and we'll get on to the race itself there, all stock and all that. But first, let's do a lap around here, just to get comfortable. So, this isn't going to be one of the fastest laps in the world, but at least you'll get to know where every part of the track is, and how best to utilize it. So, there's something. So we go up this uphill section here. You want to brake right about there when the curve starts, down to second, turn in, and accelerate right about there, all the way out to the curve to the wall. And you got to remember that, because the race itself is very momentum based, so where you brake and how you carry that speed is going to matter a lot. This is a car that is very difficult to gain speed with, but very easy to lose speed with, so you got to keep that in mind. So we go over these curves here, go out to the right to start and set ourselves up. Third gear, you want to turn in very tight, right where you see that big yellow curving there. Want to brake down to second, and usually you can take all that yellow curving right there. You're not going to get penalized for it. And then start accelerating right here. So usually the instinct is to kind of not accelerate, but here it's kind of slow enough to where you can do that. And just like that, as slow as this lap is, that is a lap around Lago, Maggiore, central reverse. And now on to the race itself. So the ideal spots I found for overtaking tended to be turns 2 through 4, 5, and 7, and that's mostly due to the momentum. And like I said before, momentum is key. You have to time your passes there and be very careful with how you carry speed. Now there's a way this car has that weight shifting around, so you have to best utilize that to your advantage when you make these passes. So that is it for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it, whether you just logged in or whether you haven't logged in quite some time. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tick the bell icon to be notified when these go live. So that is it for me, and I will see you guys in the next video.